Hello, what's going on and welcome back to the channel. I keep getting asked a ton about what formation I've been running, custom tactics, players that I'd recommend post-patch. And we have seen quite a bit of success, getting some good ranks, and I didn't believe I would adapt so quickly. So I want to show you what's been working for me and players that I would recommend in certain positions and how I've been using this formation. So thumbs up if you enjoy. And let's go. So the first thing that I want to say before we go and jump into those custom tactics is that once we get around to looking at the players that I'd recommend, I want to keep it as realistic as possible within your price range. There's no point me recommending Pele, Hullet, Ronaldo, because if you have the coins, you're going to buy those anyway. So you're going to see a variation of cards and the ones that work for this specific setup. Right? Let's go. So the custom tactics and the formation of choice that I've been using post-patch. 4-1-2-1-2. I tried the 4-2-3-1, the 4-4-2, and nothing was clicking until these tactics were recommended. I tweaked them a little bit, but they have been absolutely fantastic. I believe I've been playing the best FIFA on this patch, but then I preferred the old one. Crazy. But 35 width, it's just amazing to keep yourself nice and compact. But if you're someone that doesn't actively switch, like to your left back, pull them across to defend the wing, then get your left centre back and keep them pressed, I'd recommend bringing that width up, otherwise you're probably going to struggle. But 71 depth, believe it or not, or at least this works for me, if you're struggling to defend, I think the worst thing to do is lowering your depth because that gives up the midfield. And you want to keep that back line to your midfield as compact as possible so you defend higher up the field. Otherwise, if you give up that mid and they start attacking your back line, it's just so hard to defend. So I would recommend that. If you're struggling to actually defend, try and up your depth and see what happens. Maybe play around with 65, but 71, I feel like for me has been the sweet spot. Balance, direct passing, and everything else you can see. The instructions are really, really neutral. Everything on balance with the strikers. The cam is on comeback on the defense. The left center mid is on cover center balanced. You've got stay back while attacking cover center, and you also have cover wing balance. Now this Dirk Kuyt, he's basically the ball carrier because you need a little bit of width in this formation. But the one thing that I really like and that's changed my game is that I've got Capdevila on balance. I've got Zambrotta on stay back. So I have the width of Capdevila going down the left-hand side, and I have the powerhouse and the pace from Dirk Kuyt to run over on the right-hand side. So you can see where the width is coming from with this style, and then it defends in a 4-4-2. It's just really good. So let's go through the best goalkeepers, midfielders, everything for this setup. So it doesn't come close when I'm trying to compare goalkeepers as to who is the best one on the game. Magic Mike. He's got that name for a reason. So efficient. I don't expect him to save every single shot, but the chances that really do keep me in the game, he has it on lock. He is the best goalkeeper for me, without a doubt. Informed Donnarumma is so annoying to come up against. He has to be recommended. Ridiculous card. And it's likewise with Alisson. Now, I haven't really been using that many keepers because Mike is just unbelievable. But Alisson, these are the two main players that I struggle against. So if they're going to be good for the opponents, they're probably going to be good for you. So informed Donnarumma, Alisson, you can't really go wrong with those. But Magic Mike is the best. So you want to make sure that in this formation, you have one of your fullbacks on balance with more attacking quality. And in this case, I have Capdevila, that's unbelievable. So Zambrotta, he's the one that's told to stay back. But if I didn't have Capdevila, then of course, Zambrotta is good enough to run down the line. He's rapid, he's great on the ball. But he just has been fantastic defensively for me. Really, really recommend him. He's expensive, but he's very, very good. But if you're struggling for coins, Kyle Walker, you can't really go wrong with that. And Dani Alves that I've used recently, he's very, very good. The only issue is that you have to pretty much build a full Brazilian side to get him on 2 to 3 chemistry. But very, very good in game. I like the way he feels on the ball. He's more of that attacking fullback. So let's say you did have more of a defensive left back in this system. Go and buy Dani Alves and you're going to love it. Really can get down the line very, very well. So when it comes to defenders, it's all about just personal preference and what works for you. But this year, I have noticed that I'm leaning towards more of the physical, fast defender. I know that should be a given anyway, but last year, I was able to get away with Cannavaro and those types of players. But I have found that Tomori and Virgil van Dijk has been the best centre-back pairing so far on FIFA 23 for me. And Virgil, I had sold and found myself going back to the card. He's just got this way of gluing into the challenge and he just feels a lot more secure. Even when you maybe haven't put in a tackle, he just is there. You feel his presence and I think he's great. Even with the slow sprint speed, or sorry, slow acceleration now, I haven't noticed it as much. I just quickly take control of him in the defense and drag him back. And then once everything's reset, he's just so good inside the box with his tackles. And Tomori, I think, is one of the best players to complement Virgil van Dijk. But the other cards that I'd recommend, Laurent Blanc, I'm not going to say that this defender is like miles ahead of everything else that you can buy, but for the price, I didn't realize he was only like 270, 300,000, and I had tried him for a couple of games, and he seems pretty good for that price anyway, and he's the bigger type of defender. He's quick. I would actually recommend him. Marquez is just physical and cheap. Well, 300,000 is basically the same price as Laurent Blanc, but you got to pay for a little bit of quality, otherwise you may as well not play the game, especially in the defense right now. So Marquez is good, and I see a load of people running him, and you can play him CDM or centre-back. Ricardo Cavalli, I'm going to have to recommend because I think his AI positioning is great, but sometimes I was lacking a little bit of the physical from him, but he is overall good. I just prefer Virgil van Dijk, and Lucio, you can't go wrong. Like, tried and tested by hundreds of players, he is a beast. Like, he's very, very good. So those are my favorite centre-backs that I'd personally use right now on FIFA 23. So when the first hero SBCs were dropped on the game, I went and packed the Capdevila card, and I said at the time, if this man does receive a World Cup boost, he is going to be one to keep an eye out for, because he had the potential. Passing, defending, he was just annoyingly slow. Well, this one's come out, and he was 200,000 coins, and he's gone up to 450. Legitimately, the best left back that I've used on the game. He can do everything. So secure defensively with his positioning and pushing up, getting goals. Like, he's crazy. But I did say, if your right back is more attacking, you won't need Capdevila. So you can go and buy Theo Hernandez, who's more of a defensive fullback in my opinion. But Cancelo is basically a cheaper option to Capdevila, and you've got Roberto Carlos as well, who's going to give you that attacking threat. Like, he's good on the game, actually. I've got his base version on this account, but I'd recommend going and pick up the 88, just because it's better if you have the coins. But Cancelo, you will get caught a little bit at times with his lack of speed, but he's just good. Nice on the ball, can go and score goals like Capdevila, but if you have the coins, I 100% recommend trying to afford this man. So what I've started to really enjoy is having a CDM that can really spray passes, and Bruno Guimaraes is one of the better defenders that I've used on the game. And I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but he is amazing. And in this setup, the play just seems to get drawn into him. Before the formation itself gets a chance to switch into the 4-4-2 when I'm defending, on that transition, he's just right bang in the middle, chilling, intercept, intercept, intercept. So Bruno Guimaraes, I can't recommend enough. He gives you that stocky body type, which is, in my opinion, important for the CDMs this year. I don't really like even using the centre mids. We'll get onto that in a second, but I don't really like using the smaller centre mids this year. I prefer players that are like powerful dribblers, where they've got the dribbling capability, but they're just strong and aggressive to be able to put in a challenge. But Bruno Guimaraes is a fantastic CDM. I wouldn't recommend playing him centre mid because he's a little bit stiff on the ball, but CDM is where you want to play him. Now, Brozovic is similar in a way where he can pass out the back. I was using him on the other account, and he's very good. 90,000 coins, though, is because he's a path to glory. Once Croatia get knocked out, he'll probably drop to like 35, 40, and he's actually decent. Like, I like his positioning, and in this setup as well, he just basically does the job as like Bruno Guimaraes. But the defending is quality and comfortable with possession. So I like him, and he did work very, very well. And then Kessia, you can't really go wrong. Like, if you did this one to watch early in the cycle, he's just solid, and he's still going to be pretty good to this day. But if you can't afford that one, or you can't buy it or unlock it because it's expired, just get his regular version, or just wait until EA bring out another promo of Kessia. You know it's going to happen. So with those center mids, you would have heard me say that I like powerful players but still very good on the ball, and Kevin De Bruyne is near enough perfect because he has that bite in the challenge, which is good enough to defend with, but when you get him on the ball, his passing, I just can't drop him. There's no one quite like him unless I'm going to go and buy a Zinedine Zidane, which is just way out of my price range. So Kevin De Bruyne for 250 to 300,000 coins now is an absolute bargain for really what he offers. You've got the free kicks, you have the long shots, you got everything. 5-star week for it. And then Dirk Kuyt is a cheap Ruud Gullit. He just gallops up the field, strong tracking back as well, and he's not too bad on the ball. Maybe when the game isn't playing as it's supposed to, you'll notice a bit of inconsistency there. But he's just very good running towards the wing. I wouldn't want to play him like right bang in the middle of the pitch, but running and giving him space to drive into, that's what I think he's very, very good at, and making late runs into the box. But some other options that you can go for, Marquisio, I remember coming across this card at the start of the game, and I just realized how much better he was compared to everyone. It basically gave me that Luka Modric feel on the ball, but he was a little bit more robust and he could defend, and that's what made me realize, like, this year you need someone like that can defend and dribble, and Marquisio's great. Jason Park is like the cheaper version of him. Sometimes you notice a lack of physical with Jason Park, but it's okay. He is great for the price. Wijnaldum I tried recently, and he was good. For 80,000 coins, I can't really say that he's bad in any way. Like, 80k is nothing on the game, and it's a really good cheap alternative. And Valverde is going to be expensive, but my goodness me, he's fast. He gets into that challenge just so quick, and he's just great. Like, he's a very, very good player on the game. If you can afford this version, that's the one that I'd recommend. Very, very good. This might sound a little bit stupid, but there aren't really many cams on the game that I like. It's more taking a player out of position and playing him in that role. Now, Almiron, in fact, in this setup, or in an earlier setup, because I have been using Garrincha, I play Miguel Almiron as a left striker, and then Okocha goes in the cam position, and he's fantastic. Like, on the ball, lightning quick, his finishing, if you're timing your shots, you got no problems. Like, he is fantastic. For the price as well, like, 900,000, okay, it's a little bit more of a premium purchase, but you do pay for what you get when it comes to just how creative he is on the ball. And I had noticed in one of the games that I was playing in the playoffs, I found myself 4-0 down, I brought on a Okocha, and he really came on and changed the game. Like, he is a great card to use. But some cheaper alternatives, well, Neymar being the cheapest, you're going to get a little bit more of that dribble, the skills, and that's really what I look for anyway, especially in the cam position when you're going to be playing it into their feet early. You want to be able to ball roll Superman. You just want that nice dribbling. Unless you just play for passes, that's up to you. And Garrincha got very lucky and packed him, who's been a great right striker or a good cam. So most of my attacks, I'll be honest, they interchange. Like, sometimes I'll use a player at cam, player at striker. I don't really have like a set cam that I use, just someone that's good on the ball that can score, because most of the time I do notice my cam's getting quite a lot of the goal contribution. So just find someone that you're comfortable with using and you can dribble past opponents. Sweet. So I would say when building a team, the most important position are those midfielders. You put on the press with them, you start building up play in the transition, running back, ripping them off the ball. Like, those are the cards that you don't want to really skimp out on. But having said that, the attackers are also pretty important. Like, I don't really know if you can get away with using cheap, overpowered cards anymore. If you're not taking your chances against some of these opponents, it's just no good. And if you're not using pace right now with how they've made defending a little bit more manual, if you don't take advantage of that, you're just going to make your life a lot harder on the game. And this Hernandez hasn't been bad, actually. I did want to give him another chance, and I'm pretty impressed with the price as well. Like 250, 300,000 coins. He gives you the speed, good enough finishing, on the ball he's fine, and he has nice AI movement. He's actually quite good, and I don't mind using him on my RTG. But some of the other options I would really, really recommend if you can afford this, like this Rudy Voller is amazing. He's physical, he's fast, and he's got very, very good shots, and he's a very good link-up man to play off of because he's tall, and that's what you want as well. A little bit of physical in the attack goes a long way. Smodric as well is like that compact, fast dribbler. Thanks a lot, EA Sports. The compact, fast dribbler, he's definitely worth the price. For 500,000 coins, it's quite hard to buy someone like him. Alawaran, yeah, you've seen him quite a lot. You can play him striker, you can play him left mid. I think it's recommended to play him on the wing just to run down the line. But if you have a setup like this and you've got the dribblers around him, just send him over the top and he's going to be stupid good. And then Pele, probably the best. The best for that style of dribbling, scoring, and consistency. I haven't really played with someone as good as him. Like, he is a joke this year. I think he's better this year than he was last year. If you can afford Pele, then, I mean, it's job done. But hopefully this video today has given you a bit more of an understanding as to what you want to be looking out for when using this setup that I've been running myself. So if you don't like any of the other formations, try the 4-1-2-1-2, see what you like, but make sure you build it properly. You need a passer in KDB, you need someone in the right center mid position that's going to be carrying the play towards the wing, and you need some pretty good fullbacks as well. So thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.